Okay, here we are on a Wednesday, Longshore McKnight, presented by Bud Light. So glad you are with us here today. Midweek, hump day as they call it, looking ahead, kind of still reflecting on what has happened over the last couple of days. I'm John, he's Barry, Longshore and McKnight.
That's the setup. That's it in a nutshell right there. And Wednesday is normally our day to, as John said, last reflections on last week, first reflections. Well, continue the reflections, broaden the outlook on the upcoming week. And during the football season, especially late during the football season, Wednesday is important because these are the last reflections of last week because of the impact on the college football playoff rankings.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, there's a couple of things that jump out at me. We'll go through it all. Number one, Alabama dropped like a dang shot.
Woo! What about that, Bama fan? I mean,
they are the last at-large team. Coming in at number 10, the last at-large team. And the committee, they didn't say it in as many words. I may be paraphrasing about Alabama. But that loss to Florida State is killing them big time.
Well, you would think so. I'm with you. Because that was a terrible loss to I don't even know what Florida State's record is now.
2-7 or something. Yeah. I don't know. They're terrible.
Like every time I look at the score sheet, they've lost again.
Yeah.
And I thought I was reading a little write-up about it at ESPN.com. They really were talking more about the Oklahoma loss. Missed field goals, turnovers, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. It still happened and they lost.
Right.
Wasn't a lot of talk about Florida State. I'm thinking that had to have bit them. And they did drop, no doubt. Does that mean – so my first thought was, beating a 500 Auburn team, is that going to move you up any?
Well, it'll get you in the championship game. That is the again. They're 2 and Seminoles are 2-5. That's what I saw in the ACC, and the ACC is as weak as water. But what a difference! What a difference it makes! Wasn't it like just last week that Alabama had a projected first-round bye?
Oh, yeah.
Now they're
who took their spot, I guess.
Now they're fighting for their lives.
Georgia took their spot.
I think, yeah. Number 1 is Ohio State. Number 2 is Indiana. Number 3 is Texas A&M. Number 4 is Georgia. Number 5 is Texas Tech. Number 6 is Ole Miss.
Hey, you know what they say, Barry? You get what you pay for.
Oh, I
think Texas Tech is a prime example of that.
They have spent well. Number 6 is Ole Miss. Number 7 is Oregon. Number 8 is Oklahoma. Notre Dame 9, Alabama 10. Decent spot. Remember, there's only 12 teams.
Yeah.
BYU 11, Utah 12. Miami is 13th on the outside looking in, and then Vanderbilt. Alabama is the 4th highest rated SEC team behind Texas A&M, Georgia, and Ole Miss. John, there ain't going to be 4 teams make it from the SEC into the college football playoff. Maybe 3, but I don't think there's going to be 4.
I can see 4. I can see certainly Georgia and A&M. If Alabama does beat Auburn, I believe they'll be in, and I don't see Ole Miss losing. So I think Ole Miss will get in.
Well, here's the other thing, the other big takeaway.
And then just to be clear here, now did I hear you say Utah? I mean, I'm looking at Tulane in the bracket.
Well, they're in the bracket. Utah is Utah. I've got them at number 12.
I've got Tulane at 12. Am I looking at the right bracket?
I got Tulane at number 24. These selection committee rankings.
Yeah. I'm looking at a bracket. I'm sorry. I'm looking at how the bracket stacks up. Week 13 bracket on ESPN. They've got they got Tulane in the 12th spot with an asterisk.
Well, that's because
Miami at 11.
That's because they would be the whatever you call it, the group of 5 representative. It's not really the group of 5 representative, but that's what they be. Right now, they're number 24 in the rankings, and John Cohen looks at that and goes, oh.
Well, when I saw that last night, really a lot of things. Let me wrap up with Alabama. Big drive, no doubt, going from a quarterfinal position to number 10 in the first round on the road to Eugene, Oregon. Never been to Autzen Stadium. I hear it's an unbelievable place to play a game.
Very loud.
Maybe Kalen DeBoer needs to get back in that part of the country to really have a dominating win against what is now a 7 seed in the tournament. And there again, if they beat a 500 Auburn team and they're moving up, you mentioned going to the championship game, and we'll have to beat Texas A&M there. We think A&M is going to beat Texas. I still think that's who they'll play, but that is a big drop. That is a big, nasty drop.
Yeah.
There again, Tulane was the next team I thought about. They have Temple this week. I think they're at Temple. I'm not
then
sure.
They got Charlotte.
Yeah, and just spitballing here, but I don't think either of those two teams are great. I know Charlotte struggled this year. I hadn't really followed Temple much. I hadn't followed since Paul Palmer played for them.
Todd McNair, those guys.
So I'm not sure what Temple's record is, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say Tulane's going to win their next 2 games.
Yeah. And then they'll get in the AAC championship game, and if they lose that, then they're
that's
out.
what I wanted to. I was just trying to figure who Tulane would play. I know I'm jumping ahead, but I'm trying to find their standings to just see who. Because I know where you're heading with this. Does John Cohen sit around and go, wait a minute, I got to wait for a conference championship game, and then if they win it, no telling how far they might go in that playoff.
Yeah. He has said that he wants to name a coach by the Iron Bowl. Well, Tulane by the Iron Bowl still might have at least 3 more games to play.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says, John Sumrall ain't leaving Tulane when they're in the college football playoff.
I wouldn't think so.
That would be. But right now, I should have said it like this because the rankings don't matter. John's actually looking, I think, at the right thing, the only germane thing, and that's the bracket. Ohio State, Georgia, Texas A&M, and Indiana get the byes. The first round games, Notre Dame at Oklahoma, Miami at Ole Miss in the Tuberville game. He coached at both places. Alabama at Oregon. And the winner of that Alabama-Oregon game has to go to play Indiana.
2 road trips.
Well,
Alabama would have 2 road trips if they get that far.
And now it's starting to get a little bit more real out there. And it was a good point by Tom Luganbill on Monday. It feels like Oklahoma has already taken and passed 2 big playoff game tests.
Yeah.
Already. In effect, they're in a playoff right now, and they come in as a number 8 seed. And
their next 2 are at home. They got Missouri and LSU at home to wrap up. Got Missouri this week. Missouri this week. So
here's the takeaway, as I see it, from all of that yesterday, especially as it relates to Alabama. It's something to keep an eye on. Again, they're the last at-large team in the field.
I mean, how does that make you feel, Bama fan? Oh, last at-large? Oh, that doesn't have a good ring to it.
And if you look at all of the at-large teams who are in the bracket, that is easily the worst loss that anybody had. Is that loss, that Florida State loss, not the Oklahoma loss, but the Florida State loss, does that supersede, what was it, the 4 straight wins against ranked teams? Is that fair?
Well, I think that's interesting. And that was brought up in this ESPN article. How many ranked teams has Notre Dame beaten? Sitting up there at number 9. They didn't go on a streak like Alabama did.
No, nobody has.
Beating 4 top 15 teams in 4 weeks. I'm with you. I mean, that Florida State, let's face it, that's a big old boil on the butt of humanity, as Rusty said years ago.
No, I think Rusty was called that.
Oh, Rusty was called that, yeah. But that you can't unsee that. you saw it. You went, ooh, I wish I hadn't seen that. But you saw it, and it's there, and it's in the record books. But so are those other 4 wins in a row. Certainly last Saturday was in the record books too. You can't unsee that. Turnovers, special teams blunders, things of that nature. I could go on and on. But, there again, if they beat Auburn, do they move up a little bit? If they go to the SEC championship game and win, certainly. Heck, they might be back in the quarterfinal. They will. I mean, they'll be the conference champion. Could see them back in the quarterfinals. But, if they beat Auburn and then lose to A&M, I'm thinking maybe do they fit into that position? Because you know where I'm working here. That little 8-9 matchup there, where Oklahoma is right now. Ooh, maybe Bama slides in there and the Irish come to Tuscaloosa for a first-round game in T-Town.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, if Alabama makes it to the championship game and loses. Remember last year, SMU, remember they lost the championship game last year to Clemson on that 58-yard field goal or whatever. Penn State lost in the Big Ten championship game. Texas lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game, and they made it all 3 of them made it into the playoff. There is some precedent on Alabama's side, but it feels like, at least in the last 2 years, just on an outsider looking in, I'm no Alabama fan, but it looks like last year and this year the committee is seizing upon any reason they can possibly think of to keep Alabama out.
Yeah, what's up with that? I mean, what have they done? What did Bama do to hurt their feelings? Okay, so I've answered. Well, actually, I looked this up, believe it or not. Yeah, I did.
Wait, whoa. All
Tulane
right.
is currently in the American. They are 1 game behind Navy because Navy's played more conference games. Navy is 6-1. Tulane is 5-1 at this point. Tulane plays Temple this week, which is 3-3 in the league, 5-5 overall. They're about looks to be like 7th in the standings, 8th maybe, and then way down there at the very bottom at 0-7 and 1-9 is the Charlotte 49ers, who Tulane will play the last week of the season. So I don't know if Navy gets into the American playoff game, how that works, or maybe North Texas, who's right behind Tulane.
North Texas is really good.
But, Tulane, they went out. I guess they're in. And John Cohen's going, son of a.
I'm not going to be able to talk. I'm not going to be able to hire him. Well, also, it must be pointed out in the rankings, not in the bracket, because they're not in the bracket. In the rankings, Vanderbilt is lurking at number 14.
Lurking.
I'm just telling, if any of you guys know Hunter Yurachek, who is the College Football Playoff Committee chairman now that Mack Rhodes took a leave of absence from Baylor, if you know his number, or really anybody in the College Football Playoff Committee, lob them a text or something. Hey, you'll be wanting to listen to Longshore and McKnight within the next 20 minutes or so, because they're going to have C.J. Duncan on.
Yeah.
C.J. wasn't great in his lobbying for Dansby Swanson to be the guest picker for the
but it was a valiant effort.
It was a valiant, for the ESPN College Game Day. But we're going to allow him to make his case for Vanderbilt. Hard to even form the words Vanderbilt to make it into the college football playoff, because CJ joins us in just a little bit.
Bear, they've got Kentucky this week.
Yeah.
Kentucky team that's excuse me. A Kentucky team that's won like 3 in a row.
Playing better.
And then they at Tennessee. If Vandy wins the next 2, Kentucky, got to win it though, and goes to Knoxville and wins. There again, I think that just might not be enough room, because if there again, A&M, Georgia, Alabama, and Ole Miss win out, or just Alabama gets to the championship game, I don't think there's going to be room for Vanderbilt. They're going to get 5 SEC teams in.
They are not. I don't think they're going to get 4. John thinks there's a chance.
I think they'll get 4. Hey, I want to give Jason a big shout out. Thanks, my man. 5:42 this morning up. Whoa, Ty was up at 3:21. Are you kidding me?
3 in the morning, Ty?
Love
Ty.
it. Man, this guy's a trooper.
Jason says, first Longshore predicts OU over Bama. Then yesterday says JMU is not getting in the college football playoff.
Is that
Dude
how I
can
said
see
it?
the future. Yep.
JMU is not getting in the playoff. That's kind of what I meant. I mean, he knew where I was getting with that. JMU, really? No.
JMU? What the heck is JMU? And how about them Trojans? Troy last night, men's basketball, goes to San Diego State. Double overtime. Shouldn't have even gone to overtime, except San Diego State had a midcourt shot to tie it at the end of regulation. Troy wins 108-107 in 2 overtimes last night. Jason couldn't stay up late to watch it. I couldn't watch the end. I fell asleep. And
Barry, is that the same San Diego State team that you reminded me beat Alabama in a tournament game?
In the Final Four one year.
Oh,
they played for the championship one year.
That's right.
And they are just outside the top 25. And they paid Troy. This was a guarantee game.
Wow.
They paid Troy to come in there and beat them.
Nice trip, and then won the game. Just for factual purposes, can you show everybody what time Ty entered the River Region Straw chat line this morning?
Doesn't have the time on it.
Doesn't have the time on it.
But it's 3:21 this morning. We're on the air at 7.
Love it, Ty.
Ty at 3:21 gets up, relieves himself, and logs into the chat line.
Hey, Ty, you got to be a leader, my man. We got too many followers. I like you. You like that. You're the leader. You're the line leader.
He is the Pee-wee from Red Bay of Longshore and McKnight. Got to be first, even if it's
y'all give Ty a shout out today. That is just determination. Love it, man. Look at all these chats today. The River Region Straw chat line is Tobias is in early today. I mean, it's only 5:12 out in the desert. Way to go, Tobias.
They're excited. They're excited. They're excited for CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News. I know Plainsman Preston is pumped for Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician, on the program today as well.
You got to believe it. All right, a lot going on today, Barry. You mentioned CJ Duncan. In about 13 minutes, Josh Harris at the bottom of the next hour. A lot of conversation today about Tulane, about Steve Sarkisian, about Kiffin. Hey, we got the ratings from last Saturday. We need to go over the ratings today as well. My operatives in the field have not sent them to me yet. Is that a sign that the Bama ratings weren't good? I don't know. Just wondering.
I bet they were pretty good. Lots to get to. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, and it's presented by Bud Light.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry and Longshore and McKnight are giving you the opportunity to win a 1-carat lab-grown diamond valued at $500. Pick the exact score for either the Auburn or Alabama games each week. Limit 1 entry per person, per household, per game. You can enter anytime beginning Monday morning the week of the games, and all entries must be received before kickoff of each game. Enter by emailing your picks to longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. That's longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. In the subject line, type in diamonds. 1 additional entry to win a 1-carat natural diamond valued at $3,000 will be up for all weekly winners to pick the score in the national championship game. Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, 8163 Vaughan Road in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli. Open 7 days a week, or check them out at marguerites.com. At Marguerites, they make it. They really make it.
The dreams that matter most happen while we're awake, because they're the ones that remind us of the places we want to go, of the ideas we plan to pursue, of the legacies we hope to leave. We understand you have goals to meet, and we want to help you reach them. To fuel your vision and invest in whatever motivates you. So we want to know, what inspires you? Synovus Bank, member FDIC.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Okay, Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you are with us here today. 19 minutes past the hour on this Wednesday with Longshore and McKnight. Let you know tomorrow, little schedule adjustment for tomorrow.
All right.
I thought we'd let you know early just so people don't freak out. Our man Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South will join us on the program tomorrow. Always enjoy having Connor be a part of our program, but he'll be on at the top of hour number 2. What? Rodney will be on at the bottom of hour number 2. Don't freak out.
My God.
Yeah, Rodney will be on at 8. Rodney was nice enough, sure, be happy to do it. Rodney's that kind of guy. So, more than happy to accommodate. So just to let you know, Jason Caldwell, 7:30, Connor O'Gara at the top of the 8 o'clock hour, then Rodney or the Tighter Insider. So I don't want people to freak out.
No. Now, this is the commentary we're getting about the college football playoff. Way Offsides Jeff says this is the dumbest system of all time.
Okay.
You should have seen the system for commission at our old. Anyway, let's see. This is the dumbest system of all time. Just give me the old BCS formula and take the top 12 at the end of the year. Why wouldn't that work? Well, and Bill says, exactly. Cut out the human eye test and bias. And John's like, whoa, crazy.
Time out.
Crazy.
15-yard penalty. Oh.
No eye test?
You kidding me?
No human element? You know, a computer doesn't know that Alabama is, what is Bob from Pike Road say? You know, the leading brand of all time.
Yeah. I mean, eye test. I mean, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what, you know, that means if it was the BCS formula, Jeff, they still would count against Alabama and the loss against Florida State and the ragged appearance and the loss against Oklahoma.
You walk into a bar, the first thing you think about is, well, I got to check out her computer ranking. I got to put her matrix through the computer to see what's the deal. No, it's the eye test. Whoa, look at that. Then you go make your evaluation.
Or John makes it sound like, okay, that girl at the bar, she's pretty hot. Let me see how many other people are looking at her before I make my, you know. John does that with coaching searches. How many other people are looking at this guy before this team gave him a contract extension? You know,
and that's kind of, I feel like I've got kind of an advantage because I know a little bit, not a lot, obviously, certainly not as much as you, but know a little bit about John Summerall. So I don't really need to see. I see other people, Florida, LSU, man, this guy's hot. People like him. So that's just an added bonus as well. If I didn't really know the guy, like Philip Fulmer, how many people are ringing his phone off the hook?
Boy, that was worn out, wasn't it? Whew. That was over and over and over again. But in Summerall's case, it all of a sudden, it becomes a thing. Tulane has to play this week. They have to play next week when John Cohen said he wants a head coach by. Then they have to play, the weekend of December the 7th or something like that?
Yep.
And then the first round of the college football playoff is December the 19th. Ooh. And maybe they win. Then they would have to play on New Year's Eve. Remember, between the first round and the quarterfinals, 2 weeks. 12 days or whatever. You can't risk that. You cannot risk waiting until New Year's Eve to hire your coach or to try to hire your coach.
Yep.
It's going to be difficult for any coach in the college football playoff to negotiate a landing spot somewhere else while his team is playing for a chance to play for a national championship. That's rough.
That's tough. All. It is. It is rough. Curtis, I see you working there.
The heck with the eye test. Go ugly early and save some money.
Hey, she looked good about midnight. I will.
Yeah.
Really? You really think she did? No, okay. Whatever you say. Hey, Tobias says he's been to Autzen Stadium. Says it's a pretty cool spot. Talked about Bama at Oregon. That's what it would be if the playoff started today.
I've actually been to Oregon State. I've never been to Oregon before, but I hear it's really loud. It's not the biggest, but it is.
They say it's
very,
awesome.
very difficult. Is this true? Bill from Baltimore said John's desperate for Notre Dame to come to Tuscaloosa because, as it looks right now, they'll visit Auburn before they visit Tuscaloosa. Fair point.
Bill, I didn't really think about it like that. But, yes, I mean, Alabama would have to play Notre Dame in the postseason to get a little piece of them before they head down. Well, actually, I think Auburn goes to South Bend first.
They do. Yeah, they do. Even then, though. LSU Mark says, why aren't we talking about Jared Parker at Troy? Is his job in jeopardy? Will Troy bring Neil Brown back, or does Parker get another year? Sumrall left Troy in good shape. Well, if Jared Parker, if he wins the next two games, a little bit of help, he's still in a chance to play for the conference championship.
Who's Troy got left?
This Saturday at home against Georgia State, and then a huge one at Southern Miss to end the regular year. If Troy wins both those games and Southern Miss and Arkansas State lose at least one, Troy's in the championship game. And again, he's been coaching his behind off. This is a Troy team that lost its starting running back on the last week before camp. Their starting quarterback missed 6 weeks. Both of their tackles are gone for the year with injuries. They've had injuries defensively. I think he's coaching.
What's the quarterback situation for this week?
Well, Goose Crowder played in the loss at Old Dominion. Tucker Kilcrease left that game. I'm fairly certain Tucker's available. I do not know who will start because, Goose hasn't played a full game since September, and Tucker, had to leave because of the injury. But I think they're both on deck and ready to go. And Georgia State is 1-9.
Ooh,
1-9. You know who Georgia State's receivers coach is? Damian Craig.
I was going to say, Chuck Schick, but
no, Damian Craig is on staff at Georgia State right now. Anyway,
wasn't he at Florida State for a while or A&M?
He was at A&M for a good long while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good stuff. The River Region Straw chat line hopping today. Really appreciate all of that today on the program. There again, lots going to happen between now and the final rating or final bracket for the college football playoff. But I think it's interesting how far Alabama fell. Tulane kind of hovering around there as well. I'm just asking, because there again, I should probably know more about James Madison. I mean, if they win out, are they getting in? I mean, what's the deal?
They've only lost one game.
Mm-hmm.
And they have been running through the Sun Belt. They are really, really good. Why James Madison instead of Tulane? I don't know. Not a whole lot of people were asking that question of the committee as much as they were asking about Notre Dame and Alabama. But I don't see why not. I don't see why not. They are pretty doggone good. Also, again, last night's Troy win, it was in double overtime. What, about midnight, when it found midnight Central Time?
Ouch. Yeah.
But they did win in double overtime at San Diego State. You might, for old fogies, I think Bama Pride just turned 70 today. Happy birthday to him.
There you go.
You've got to pace yourself tonight, because tonight at 8:00, number 11 Alabama visits number 8 Illinois tonight.
Is that in the United Center where the Bulls play?
I'm looking.
This must be the time of year, Barry, where college basketball teams travel for like a week. I think you told me earlier Troy's on the road for like 12 days.
Yeah.
Bama leaves Chicago and goes to Vegas to play Gonzaga and UNLV next week.
Yep. Also, Auburn will be going to Vegas as well for that NIL-funded tour. Auburn will play tonight at home at 8 o'clock. Again, the Alabama game is on FS1. The only reason why I mention that first is it's two ranked teams. Illinois is undefeated, number 8, and they're 4-0. Auburn is number 22. They host Jackson State tonight at 8 o'clock on the SEC network. 8 o'clock for Jackson State?
On a weeknight? Whew. Hey, what time's that Bama game tip?
8 o'clock. Both of them are at 8 tonight.
Why do they make me stay up so late? Gee
yeah.
whiz.
Yeah. You just sounded like you were 64 years old right there.
Well, not yet, but I do have a birthday fast approaching, Barry.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I'm about a month out.
Yeah, a month and 4 days for anybody who hasn't
ready.
Put it on your calendar.
Based on the calendar, Barry, I'm looking at, I will not be on the air the Monday before my birthday, but it looks like I will be on the air on my birthday, which usually is not the case. But this year, midweek, looks like I'm going to have a birthday party here on the Wednesday, the 23rd of December.
Yeah, well.
Looking forward to it.
When we come back, we're looking forward to visiting with C.J. Duncan. Vanderbilt, number 14 in the college football playoff. He wasn't successful in his lobbying for Dansby Swanson as the guest picker. Let's see if we can lobby for Vanderbilt to get in. Yes. Next, it's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
Man, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What I miss? I have no idea.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
All right. Wow, Barry got a little choked up listening to that last commercial. Reminded me of number one child. I hadn't seen her in about 2.5 months. I thought, wow, man, Thanksgiving's got to hurry up and get here so I can put my arm around her. Man, it's tough.
It'll be great. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Kids, man. I haven't seen mine in a while.
I hear you.
So,
I know it. It's tough.
Yeah.
Hey, our man CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joining us here today. CJ, looking good. How you doing today, my friend?
Good morning. How you guys doing?
We're doing really well. Vanderbilt in the latest college football playoff rankings, number 14. As I look at it right now, I think they're the number 6 rated SEC team out there. So close, CJ.
Yeah, very close, very close. You know, I think we're probably going to run into a situation where, you know, the committee doesn't want to show too much bias. You know, now that the current chairs, the Arkansas AD, I think we're going to run into that issue because, I mean, if you look at the folks in front of us, you know, minus maybe in Miami, if you just compare years that we've had and the attraction that we've had, I mean, it's really not a discussion between, you know, BYU and also Utah. But, you know, they both have road games to finish out the season. So does Miami. They've got 2 road games. So there is a path for us to get that number 11 spot. Hopefully we can finish strong as well. We've got to handle our jobs first.
So as Barry and I were talking about earlier, my view is if Alabama and Ole Miss continue to win, If Alabama beats Auburn, goes to the championship game, if Ole Miss wins out, I think the conference is going to get 4 teams in the playoff: Georgia, A&M, Alabama, Ole Miss. Can Vandy be a 5th SEC team?
Well, I mean, Alabama really hurt us this weekend. If you just go ahead and beat Oklahoma, we're probably in there already. But yeah, I really do see a path for us to do that. Like I said, I mean, Kentucky this weekend at home, we feel very good about. But it's a cool moment in our history now that it all comes down to Neyland Stadium, right? If it would really hurt those guys in orange if we got into a playoff because we beat them at home, So we've got that circled. We've had it circled all year. We knew that would be a big game for us. We knew we'd have a good year. So we're excited about that. And Oklahoma, I'm not sure who they finished the year out with, but they may also be a SEC team that also remains in. I looked at the bracket, and honestly, I love how it looks, minus, maybe switching Miami for Vanderbilt. But looking at the bracket, it's pretty fair. It's evenly kind of worked out the way that it has. I like Notre Dame versus Oklahoma. I think that's a good game. Alabama, Oregon, Miami, Ole Miss, and then the winner of the Notre Dame Oklahoma has to play Ohio State. So you could have Coach Freeman going back to his alma mater to play in a playoff game. So it doesn't look too bad right now, but I'd love to play Ole Miss. I've got a close buddy of mine who's an Ole Miss guy. I'd love to mess with him for a couple weeks.
Let me ask you about that. As a player, if you're at Ole Miss and you're looking on the internet and there's Kiffin's family in Baton Rouge and then they're down here in Gainesville, well, what are you thinking?
You know what? Me personally, I say, look, he's a grown man. He's got a family. He's got to do what's best for him and his family, right? And his career. That at the end of the day, that's what he has to do. But I know that I have him at least for this year. So I've got to maximize this because we may not be back here depending on who replaces Kiffin. So it's hard to compartmentalize that kind of thing. But as a football player, as an athlete, you're taught to do so, right? You could have failed a test before practice. You could have broken up with your girlfriend. The coach doesn't care. What are you doing for me on the field today? And so it's no different than that. You have to be able to separate the two. Right now, you're on the field, you're in between the lines. That's where the focus is.
But Ole Miss says that he's got to make a decision before the Egg Bowl. Kiffin saying that there was no ultimatum. I'm doing fine. I'm doing great here. Da da da. I'm not sure how many people believe him. John Sumrall at Tulane, one of the hottest coaches out there. His team is looking at a potential conference championship game and a potential college football playoff berth. It's hard to keep it from being a distraction, but there's so many things about the college football setup, the schedule, and where things that are they make it difficult. What do you expect? What do you expect Lane Kiffin to do? What do you expect Sumrall to do when a chance to triple or quadruple his salary comes around? The calendar's bad.
Well, Clark Lee, I'll add him to that plate. I wouldn't blame him if he left. Of course, we love him. We want him to stay. But, when someone is young in their career and have an opportunity to really take the next step up on that ladder, you can't blame the guy, especially when things are not promised next year. We've got Diego Pavia is going to be missing. So, but yeah, and I think what people forget is the human aspect of it is like these coaches care about these players. These are guys that they've recruited. They've got to know their families. And so they don't want to purposely flip everybody's life upside down or offend anybody or hurt anybody by making the move that they have to make. So it is a very tough decision, especially middle of the season. The timing's awful. Lane can't help that all these other ADs decided middle of the season was the right time to fire their coach. Hey, fire your coach at the end of the year. It's not going to change your win-loss record. It's not going to change it. So just wait till the end of the year and let everything fall, the dust fall where it may. But it's not Lane or Sumrall's fault that these guys have started to do that. But also everybody's got a job. LSU's got a job. right? The AD, and now the governor's involved. He definitely has his job. He's got somebody micromanaging every move now. So they've got to do what they have to do, and it's unfortunate of the timing, honestly.
Well, Vanderbilt has the week off, but I know you're a college football guy. Did you get a chance to watch any football over the weekend with Vanderbilt off? And if so, what was the one you had to watch, CJ?
Yeah. So no weekends off over here. My wife knows that very well. Yeah. So of course was tuned in to the Alabama-Oklahoma game. I think that's the one that everybody really geared up for. And it was a lot of thoughts came from that. If you look at the stat sheet, you would think, okay, Alabama's okay. They played well enough to win. They outpassed them, outrushed them, maybe even time of possession.
Mm-hmm.
But in this particular scenario, when you have 2 or 3 turnovers in an SEC game, that's going to kill you. And it's unfortunate they came when they did, because I think Ty had only thrown 1 interception on the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of have this effect where when one goes, now they've got the momentum, they've got the confidence, then a couple more come after that, and you get a tip pass here or a fumble there, and then there's your game. Your game ends right there because momentum's hard to stop, and especially against a team like Oklahoma, who's very talented, against Venables, who's beaten Alabama several times in his career, including last year and at Clemson. And so it's hard to stop that momentum once it gets rolling. But similarly to what we talked about last week, guys, Alabama's got to figure out a way to run the ball and run the ball successfully and consistently, and they're not doing that. And I don't know if I can't tell if it's play calling. I can't tell if it's execution by the offensive line. I can't tell if it's the running backs kind of, pitter-pattering around. It's a little bit of all of it. I think I've seen all 3 things at some point in the game, but they can't seem to work as a unit all at the same time. So it was unfortunate.
Who do you think, CJ, should get the bulk of the playing time at running back at Alabama?
You know what? If I was a coach, I would just say it's open competition right now. No one has really stood out in a game-like scenario. You hate to do that at the end of the year like this, but somebody's got to prove that they can go get the tough downs. They got to prove that on first down they can put us in front of the sticks. And that's also a challenge to the offensive line. Last year when Saquon almost ran for 2,000 yards, they said that's just as much of an offensive line award as it is as a running back award. There's no different in college. This is at some point they've all got to get on the same page. You've got to run harder, and you've got to put your butt in the hole. Let me run off of it and make a play.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of factors that come into it. I won't put it on one specific group, but it is unacceptable for an Alabama team this late in the year to be running the ball the way that they're running.
Yeah. And maybe that's just who they are. Maybe there's nothing to be done about it. That's just the way it is. This week is traditionally not the strongest week. Auburn has got Mercer, Alabama's got Eastern Illinois, Texas A&M has Samford. A&M is 10-0. Have you ever seen or been a part of a game where momentum has switched so totally and so much of an about face as that Texas A&M South Carolina game? It almost feels like it would have been better if South Carolina had just lost that one 17-10 than to get out to the big lead and lose it the way they did.
Yeah, I think they said it was the largest comeback in SEC history. So I don't think any of us have seen anything quite of that magnitude. But it was very clear. There was a team on the field that's used to losing. There's a team on the field that's used to winning.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it really is. And trust me, I've lived it. I've lived on both sides of those things. And so it was truly, once you saw A&M have one positive play or 2 positive plays in a row, you could see their confidence coming back. And they never feared South Carolina. Like, even at halftime, if you walked in that locker room, there was probably no arguing, no yelling. It's just, hey, guys, we're a couple plays away. That's what they're telling themselves. Oh, we're just a couple plays away. We get this ball rolling, they're gonna fold. They're gonna quit. They're gonna start yelling at each other, and they don't have the guts to withstand what we're about to bring. That's what they're telling each other. They've got leadership. They're used to winning. Coach Elko's done an excellent job. That's why they signed him to an extension. It was funny how it came out during the game, through on the ticker at the bottom. But yeah, this team, A&M, they are ready for a long run. And it's good to see if they can cut down on the turnovers, that being their quarterback. They're talented, and we've seen this for years. I mean, even when I was playing, it's like A&M. If you go player for player, they could probably be the best team in the SEC, but they've never been able to figure it out consistently. And so now you're starting to see the efficiency match up with the talent, and guys really working hard and playing hard. And now you're seeing the results of that. But yeah, South Carolina, it's not there. Those guys they're not ready.
CJ, you touched on Vanderbilt, Kentucky this week. Then they go to Knoxville the next week, the big in-state rivalry game against Tennessee. You grew up here in the state of Alabama. You certainly know all about the Iron Bowl as well. Looking at what's happened at both programs, Auburn with interim head coach CJ Durkin, Alabama coming off that tough loss at Oklahoma. Your early thoughts about the Iron Bowl at night in Jordan-Hare, a must-win for Alabama to move on and stay in playoff talk. It would make Auburn's season to knock the Tide out of the playoff.
Yeah, no, I'd be really concerned that Auburn team I saw a couple weeks ago is ready to, kill some dreams. They're long, they're athletic. And they've got nothing to lose. It's a situation where you're truly playing for pride. You're playing, a lot of guys may be playing for their ranking in the portal, but some of them may be saying, hey, if we do well enough these last couple games, maybe we attract some guys to come to Auburn in the portal as well. And so we want this environment to be special, and especially for the Iron Bowl. And every year, Saban has said it, other people have said it. It doesn't matter what the record is. When you play in the Iron Bowl, especially in Jordan-Hare, anything can happen. And so if I were Alabama, I would not be taking this game lightly. Matter of fact, if you don't start early, I could see this going in Auburn's direction.
I mean, we talked about it. Auburn's only one of their losses has been by more than a touchdown. So they've been in every game. And most of the runs they lost was self-inflicted wounds.
Well, and Auburn's strength is Alabama's weakness. The Auburn's defense, prior to the Vanderbilt game, they hadn't given up more than 24 points in a game, and their run defense is excellent. So now you're making Ty Simpson one-dimensional, like I was begging Vanderbilt to do, a few weeks back. Make him one-dimensional and play in that environment. Play in that environment. There's going to be a lot of emotions and everything. And we saw this past weekend, he was inaccurate with the ball a few times. Yeah. When you're putting pressure on a guy like that, he's not in the rhythm. He's playing behind the sticks, and he's always thinking about the pass rush. He's looking over his shoulder. He starts to see ghosts, as we like to say. Then you're putting yourself in a really opportune position to win the game. And so Auburn does that well. We could see some fireworks for Thanksgiving for sure.
Yeah. Definitely going to have to get into that a little bit more in depth with our next visit. CJ, as always, we appreciate the time. This is great stuff, and we look forward to visiting with you again next week.
Thanks, guys. I also want to give Kirby Smart a shout out, man. What a masterclass this weekend. When people tell you that there's a difference between this coach and that coach, and there's levels to it, Kirby showed us this weekend that there's levels to it. Sark's still got a ways to go.
Is anybody playing better than Georgia? I mean, I have to admit, I hadn't watched Ohio State play a lot because they ain't played anybody. But to me, Georgia's playing better than anybody in the country right now. The last 2 or 3 games, man, they've been dominant.
100%. I couldn't agree more. I think Georgia and Notre Dame look like the 2 hottest teams in America right now. They're trending at the right time. I like what I see out of both ball clubs.
Georgia's just tougher than everybody. They were tougher than Texas was.
And you watch Alabama run the ball and watch Georgia run the ball. It's they're playing two different sports. I mean,
Yep.
it's pretty brutal. And also Notre Dame, they got a kid out there who looks like Reggie Bush, man. I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
so it's been fun to watch. This college football season's been great, and it's gonna finish with a bang. So let's hope that Miami loses the next couple.
Let's go. Appreciate you, CJ. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Y'all have
We'll
a good
talk
one.
to you next week. Thank you, buddy. We always appreciate your time. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joining us here today on the program. Always appreciate his insight and analysis on the program.
I
Several
agree
to
about
kind of dive into when we get back from the next break. I always CJ with a lot of things that I wrote down. I'm thinking, we need to talk a little bit more about that and more about that. And that too.
He's right. I mean, you look at Georgia. I mean, they broke Texas as well. It was a close game. Georgia just physical, and they will beat the snot out of you over and over again. And Texas just broke late. And his point, you watch the way Georgia runs the football, where they just wham it in there behind a big offensive line, and they're decisive in the run game, and they're patient with the run game. And then you watch Alabama, tap dancing before you hit the line of scrimmage and being tentative and all that.
Running into the back of your left tackle. Yeah.
It does not look the same.
It doesn't, Barry. It doesn't look the same at all. And I think that's a huge warning sign. And we talked about it week after week after week. I don't think Bama fan wanted to hear it. I think they kind of knew it, but they didn't want to hear it. But look, it's right there. It's obvious. You're right. Georgia can run the football. Alabama cannot. And they have not been able to run it through 10 games. What makes you think they're going to be able to run it in a week and a half at Jordan-Hare at night? I don't see that.
There's no magic wands out there.
Yeah,
There's no
they're going to throw it to the tight end every play. There again, I think it's kind of the walls are kind of creeping in on this team, particularly on the offensive side. And Ryan Grubb's got to come up with something very creative to get Alabama a victory in Auburn on a week from this Saturday. And if Auburn does win the game, is their coaching search over?
I hope not. I mean, I like DJ Durkin fine, but you've got to – it's more that they got burned by hiring Freeze because of his legacy against Alabama. Forget Alabama. Forget that. Get the best guy for Auburn, not, hey.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. I agree. But, after that loss to, who was it, Vanderbilt, that they lost to, and they gave up a ton of points.
Yeah.
After they fired Freeze, and everybody's, not everybody, but I'm a lot of giddiness on Auburn message boards and websites and newspaper articles and television reports. I'm thinking, well, man, that defense gave up 40-something points. Oh, but the offense looked great. A lot of getting out there again, as I said after the game. Did Auburn win that game? It kind of sounded like they did. So I felt the excitement for Durkin, but I'm with you. Mercer, forget about them. But if they beat Alabama, is there going to be this big push? Oh, we got to hire him.
Oh, yeah, there is.
I think you got to look at the broad picture here.
Yeah.
You just can't take one game and go, oh, he beat Bama, got to hire him. And I'm sure John Cohen's kind of thought that too.
Well,
and I like this guy, but I don't know.
He has said that whatever happens, he does want DJ Durkin to be a part of Auburn next year. Good luck with that. We'll see. I agree with that. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Pravel Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Pravel Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet.
The dreams that matter most happen while we're awake, because they're the ones that remind us of the places we want to go, of the ideas we plan to pursue, of the legacies we hope to leave. We understand you have goals to meet, and we want to help you reach them, to fuel your vision and invest in whatever motivates you. So we want to know, what inspires you? Synovus Bank, member FDIC.
The drive into fall event is bigger and better at Stivers. Over 150 new Rams in stock, up to 21 grand off or 0% for 6 years. And heavy-duty Rams, 13 grand off.
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
The drive into fall event is bigger and better at Stivers. Gladiators, 11 grand off. Wranglers, 12 grand off. Even 3-row Grand Cherokees, 13 grand off or 0% for 5 years.
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Okay, a couple of minutes to the top of the hour here on this Wednesday. Josh Harris, Moneyline Magician, at the bottom of hour number 2. Okay, John Summerall, if Tulane wins out and makes the college football playoff, has Auburn lost their chance of hiring him to be their next head coach?
I don't see how anybody could hire him in that regard. And he should be hired. It's a bad calendar. Is it ethical? Because I know that John Cohen is doing his due diligence on John Summerall. He's talking to people. He's calling people up. You know, that's what every athletic director does.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking to the agent. The agent's a busy man right now because John Cohen ain't the only one calling John Summerall. And Summerall's talking to his agent. And I know John's wife and you know, got 4 kids, great wife. Her name's Jenny. And she's very active. I mean, they're a partnership, as it is with most really good coaches. Is it ethical for him to tell his agent when Tulane is about to play for the American Conference Championship?
Yeah.
Or it may be too late by the time the playoff comes, but he tells them, look, I'll agree to a contract at Auburn or wherever. I'll agree to Auburn, for instance. I'll agree to a contract at Auburn if they pay me this and give me this and make a commitment for this and do that and everything. You tell them that I will sign the contract the day after the Tulane season ends. I thought you asked a good question to CJ Duncan about, the distractions. And CJ says, look, players are trained to compartmentalize stuff. Don't worry about your girlfriend breaking up with you. Don't worry about, what may happen next week. Don't worry about that big lit paper that you've got to write. We'll get somebody to handle that for you. But you're trained to compartmentalize. But still, if the players at Ole Miss are saying, man, we're having an all-time season, and our coaches, and the coaches' wives are active. They know, Summerall's kids, and Knox has been at, on the sidelines and everything. They know Kiffin's kids, Summerall's kids. He's got 3 girls and a boy. They're around. Jenny Summerall's around and all that. And let's just say they're hearing, hey, Miss Summerall was, just for an example, I'm not saying it's happening. Yep. She was in Auburn over the weekend, or she's been spending a couple of weeks in Alabama, back where she's from, and I wonder what's going on with Coach, or I wonder what's going on with Coach Kiffin, or I wonder what's going on with this guy or that guy. That is bound to be somewhat of a distraction. Is it ethical for the coach to go ahead and agree to a contract in principle somewhere else, to where the minute your college football playoff run ends, the very next day, after National Signing Day, after all of that, you show up at a press conference somewhere else wearing somebody else's rep tie and with somebody else's athletic director introducing you as the new head football coach.
Yes. Might not be ethical, might not be the warm and fuzzy thing to do, but it's business. It's cutthroat out there. And if you're standing around, you're going to get left behind. So, yeah, I do think stuff like that goes on.
Guys,
like,
I want you to give
going
me
next head coach at the University of Alabama. Boom. There's Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I'm not leaving Ole Miss except in a pine box or something like that. I mean, you're getting on these guys. Guys, I need 100%. You know, I need 100%. Here we go. I don't want every rep needs to be at maximum efficiency, and the players are thinking, yeah, are you still with us? You know, I mean, is your mind somewhat in?
And
heck, Saban fired Kiffin because of that.
No doubt. And I'm kind of wondering what Ole Miss is thinking about what's going on with the Kiffin family currently. But if Auburn really wants John Summerall, then wait for him. If that's really who you want that guy with an edge, young, proven he can get it done, wait on him. I mean, isn't it worth it for the long haul rather than get him for this 2-week period? I mean, yeah, it might hurt a little bit, but for the long haul, if this is your guy, then wait on him. That's what I say.
But you better get him.
You better.
I mean, if you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, and all of a sudden, he issues a statement or Tulane puts out a tweet and says, proud to have re-signed or extended Coach Summerall. And Auburn's like, we waited this long. Now who is going to get?
I get it. They could bite you in the butt. I mean, I guess there are no guarantees, but you better have a really good, firm understanding that this is going to happen and feel confident that it's going to happen, because you don't want Kentucky swooping in, at the last minute, or maybe if Florida or LSU hasn't filled their opening yet either, which I don't think that's going to be the case. But if Florida and LSU hire their guy and Stoops is still in Kentucky, I think Auburn's got to feel pretty confident. Well, I think this guy's coming. I think he's coming. We're just going to wait on him. Another little fun fact, this has no bearing on the future of John Summerall, because when I had this conversation, this never came up and I didn't ask it, but it was actually just presented to me. I didn't know this, but I found out yesterday, having a discussion with my nephew, that his wife and Summerall's wife were college roommates.
All right. Your nephew's wife was college roommates with Jenny Summerall.
Correct. They were sorority sisters at Auburn together.
Did they eat at 31 Flavors?
That he didn't say.
Okay.
And he didn't say anything about it being very serious either.
Yeah.
But I did not know that. He dropped that on me yesterday. I went, whoa, really? And because I'd heard that she, went to Auburn, an Auburn grad. And I went, wow, I did not know that. But yeah, found out that my nephew's wife and Summerall's wife were college roommates at Auburn together. I went, whoa.
How about?
Well, if something happens, let me know. You know where I am. Call your uncle up, help a brother out. But, so I found that fun fact out yesterday. So if that's who Auburn really wants, you got to wait on them,
But
Barry,
you're
folks out there, you're watching and listening to two guys that, believe it or not, had to wait around at some point in time in our lives. And, had to
hard to imagine.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And now I think we're sitting here today with two beautiful brides, and we had to wait around, but it was the best thing that ever happened. So there you have it.
It all worked out. Yeah. But in the case of college football, I don't have, 100,000 fans on my shoulder saying, you dirty dog, you did us wrong, you waited too long for her or whatever like that. And
another thing, Barry, if Auburn has not hired a coach and Tulane's makes the playoff, they got to win out. Not only they got to beat Temple and Charlotte, they got to win their conference championship game if they're going. So if say they win that and they're in the playoff, I got to think Auburn fans are smart enough to realize, okay, I think we know who our guy is. We just got to wait for him to play it out. Probably Tulane knows that too. Wait a minute. Everybody's hired their coach and Auburn hadn't. And this guy's still available. Oh, this isn't looking to. So people are going to be talking. A lot of buzz, a lot of that. Oh, well, it looks like Summerall's going to Auburn. John Cohen's going, I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
We hadn't had a coach yet.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of gamesmanship that could be played if it goes that way, because I'm with you. If Tulane's winning, he can't leave. Not till it's over.
Well, I got to go along with one of the preeminent voices in college athletics. Philip Marshall says that, quote, "It is my opinion that the search is likely down to 3 names: Tulane head coach John Sumrall, Auburn defensive coordinator, interim head coach DJ Durkin, and Missouri head coach Eli Drinkwitz."
Now, wait a minute. Is this the latest column or like the last 2 or 3? Because I've seen that written previously.
Yeah, this is 7 hours ago.
Okay.
He says, word from Gainesville is that Florida would most likely turn to Drinkwitz should it be spurned by Lane Kiffin. And Philip quotes Steve Spurrier. Spurrier says, "I know Lane Kiffin. I know Eli Drinkwitz. Obviously, either one of those guys would be super if it works out." I still think Kiffin stays or should stay.
Yeah.
You know, there is something to be said for being in a very nice, small college town, doing what you love with people who you respect and getting around young people. I'm in that situation.
And, you know, Barry,
And
as Neil McCready told us a couple of years ago, it's Lane Kiffin football. It's not Ole Miss football. And Ole Miss fans don't have a problem with that. If he goes to LSU or Florida, it's LSU and Florida football.
I know. The thing that always strikes me about our very interesting interview with Neil McCready back when Auburn was looking for a coach, and Neil used to cover Auburn, is that he said, "Look, Hugh's the guy that, I mean, if you need him to go to the Camellia Club to speak, man, he's right there. You know, you want him to go over here and meet with this group, glad to do it."
Mm-hmm.
Kiffin ain't doing it. He ain't doing it. Kiffin is doing what Kiffin wants to do. You know, you think Lane Kiffin is going to say, "Absolutely, I'll go to the Autaugaville Thursday night quarterback coffee club"? He ain't doing that. He's doing what he wants to do. You know, that's okay with Ole Miss because he's winning.
Yeah,
LSU,
exactly.
you better be a dang man of the people.
No
At
doubt.
LSU.
And I get
That's
it.
one of the reasons why Brian Kelly never had any sort of, background support. He ain't a glad-handing,
and let's face it, I guess when Ole Miss is playing a big opponent, and I guess this happens everywhere to some extent, but, you know, they did have a big crowd at some game. I think it was the Washington State game, and he called out the students, and, you know, he can get away with that. And he's right. You better show up at the games. And in Baton Rouge and in Gainesville, it's 100,000 every week. Yeah. Most of the time. I've seen LSU stands empty, but usually that's at the start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, whenever they're losing to.
Yeah. So, you know, is he driven by 100,000 seats or, you know, great. I know LSU, Louisiana's got a ton of talent. Florida does too. Does he feel like it's better or easier to get the talent that he needs in places like that? He's proven he can get it in Oxford. I mean, heck, if you got the money, does it really matter where you are?
That's right. I mean, you could play for Alaska Anchorage.
Yeah.
And but, you know, see, Kiffin has done that. He's been there, though. He's been a head coach in the NFL. He's been a head coach at USC, you know, 2 high-ranking positions that a lot of coaches aspire to, that type of thing. And it didn't work out for him. Now he's got a job where they love him. They'll have him for as long as he's there, as he wants to be there. He's got everything he needs. USC, they got warts.
Yeah.
The daggum Raiders sure have warts. And he's been in those places. He's, you know, sometimes it's best, as they say, to bloom where you're planted. And he just happens to be planted in Oxford, Mississippi.
Keep your feet on the ground, but keep reaching for the stars.
Well, yeah. Casey Kasem, that's philosopher.
About Drinkwitz. He's certainly done well at Missouri. I mean, he was catching some heat, but turned it around, had some 10-win seasons at a place that, let's face it, going to be tough to win year in and year out. He's proven he did a heck of a job. You're going to say what's on his mind. I think he'd be a really good fit at Auburn as well. He'd call it like he sees it. He wouldn't put up with any of Alabama's crap. He'd act like, who were they? Big deal. So what? Not interested in them. So I think Drinkwitz would be a guy that the fans could really rally around. And, we're here about all, kind of like Dye. We're not worried about them. We're worried about making us better.
Right.
I think Drinkwitz, a lot of things are in his favor. There again, we've talked about Summerall and the advantages that he would bring to Auburn. DJ Durkin, I don't know. I'm a little cool on him. I just don't know in the long haul if that's the guy. I mean, what'd the guy do at Maryland?
He got in trouble in Maryland.
His record at Maryland wasn't that great. I think his biggest win, they beat Texas in Austin when Texas was like, I don't know, finished the year like 7-5 or something. Yeah. But Drinkwitz, Durkin never had anything great at Maryland. I mean, I don't know why everybody's so, I heard DJ Durkin. And like there again, he beats Alabama, and that drumbeat will be even louder. But let me throw this hypothetical at you. I know some people out there, particularly Nick Saban, hated hypotheticals. But if just, by some circumstance, Kalen DeBoer said, I think I want to move back out west. Say Lincoln Riley moves on or UCLA's looking for a guy, whatever.
Which they are.
And says, I think my time here in Tuscaloosa's been done. I'm ready to move on. Would Alabama go try to hire Lane Kiffin?
We've had this question before when Kalen DeBoer was hired, and it never really seemed to gain a ton of traction there with Kiffin. I mean, I would think that a lot of coaches in his position would crawl down Interstate 22 on the shoulder of the road on broken glass to get to.
I'm with you, but like with Auburn, they didn't seem to have a lot of interest in Kiffin 2 years ago. And Alabama certainly basically fired him after a semifinal game.
Yeah.
And didn't make it to the championship game. So his departure from Tuscaloosa wasn't great. I understand Kiffin kind of got his lip poked out. Auburn wasn't interested in him 2 years ago. But if Alabama had an opening with as hot as Kiffin seems to be today, he's kind of what I call the soup du jour coach. Everybody's after him. Would Alabama take a run at Kiffin?
And what would his reaction be?
I wonder what Alabama would do. Just there again, that if, DeBoer said, I'm a West Coast guy. I'm heading back out there. Where's Bama turn? I mean, what name does Greg Byrne have in his top left desk drawer to call if DeBoer says, Greg, I appreciate it, my man. It's been good, but I'm going back out west.
Here's my honest appraisal of the Alabama job. By the way, John Dent says Barry doesn't seem to share the enthusiasm for Drinkwitz. I love Drinkwitz. Yeah. John was on a roll there, and I sometimes I get caught up in listening to John, and I think, I better say something. But yeah, he's on a roll there. Here's the thing about Drinkwitz, real quick. Very possibly maybe the smartest man in head coaching in college football. I mean, he looks like the guy who lost his tooth in The Hangover, but he is like crazy, off the charts smart. Football mind unparalleled. I think he'd be a great choice at Auburn. I think he'd be a great choice at Florida, even ahead of Lane Kiffin. But the Alabama job, it is a great job. You make $1 jillion. You get every tool you possibly need for success at Alabama. It is built to succeed, but it ain't for everybody. I mean, that job will swallow you up, John. It's like the Matrix, where you're trying to find a place to hide. Can I go take my family out to dinner? Can I walk down the street with my dog? In Tuscaloosa, you cannot. And you go, who would we had a little while ago? I think it was Way Offsides Jeff. He says, if they lose to Auburn, that'll be 2 straight 9-4 seasons.
Yeah.
Too many schools in the country would kill for 2 straight 9-4 seasons. Wait a minute. Alabama, they want to run you out. That Jeff, job will chew you up and spit you out.
Jeff, are
if
you
you're
saying
not
they're going to
strong.
lose the bowl game too? They'd be 9-3 if they lose to Auburn.
Well, the point is that, I mean, that job will grind you up.
Yeah.
There ain't many people that can handle it. Bear had the personality too. Obviously, Saban had the personality too, not only to survive it, but to dictate it.
Yep.
There ain't a lot of those guys out there, John. It is a hard,
I think that's a great
job.
point. After Bryant, not a lot of guys can handle it. Ray Perkins out after 4 years. Curry, Shula, Dubose, Mike Price didn't even make a game. Franchione, spit him out.
Franchione could not wait to get out of Tuscaloosa.
You know, Saban came in and said, you guys stand over there. I don't want you calling me. I'm not going to any rubber chicken circuit. Not doing it. I'm here to win football games. Leave me alone. And they did it for 17 years. To my knowledge, they've left DeBoer alone as well. I'm sure there's some grumblings here and there about some of the games that they've lost over the last 2 seasons. But you're right. It does. It spits you up and chews you out. And, heck, even Gene Stallings. I mean, toward the end, he got sideways with Bob Backrath. And I don't think Stallings wanted to leave. But I'm sure the demands, I would say Stallings probably has handled it better than any coach between Saban and Bryant.
It ended up, the job, he just said it ain't worth it.
Yeah.
At that point, Gene Stallings, who's as hard a worker as there has ever been in college football. Couple of things here. Chris the Bammer, the Moon, says, as long as Nick has an office in Titletown, he misspelled it. He means Tuscaloosa. There will be no Kiffin. Also, this from Ty. He says, do you think Kiffin still would be hired as long as Saban is around? John
Is Saban
Dent,
the athletic director?
as long as Coach Saban is associated with Bama, I'm not sure about Kiffin at Bama. See Nick's comments to his agent about bringing Kiffin to UA as offensive coordinator. Now, years ago, when John and I were doing radio, I was getting blistered and hammered left and right. Why does Pat Dye still have an office at Auburn? What is Pat Dye doing over there? Is Pat Dye still on the payroll? And you guys are absolutely saying, as long as Saban's still around, as long as Saban's still associated with Bama, all this kind of stuff. Why isn't there that same level of concern and outrage about Saban hanging around the program, having an office there and all that, as there was when Coach Dye was at Auburn?
Yeah, if that's the case, then why is Kalen DeBoer still at Alabama? Obviously he's not living up to the Saban standard. Practice is different.
Yeah.
Game day's different. The way the team operates, a lot different. Playing music on the field, all that kind of stuff. Saban doesn't seem to have any say-so in that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Saban even visits his office very much, from what I hear.
I'm not totally sure that he lives in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. He is at a lot of the games. I will say that. He was at the LSU and the Ole Miss game for that matter.
But,
hear about Kiffin. I've heard a lot of people say, look, let's face it. We all know about Joey Freshwater and Sharp Tongue Lane and all this kind of stuff. But it does seem to me, my eye test tells me, and I hear a lot of other people that follow Lane Kiffin a lot closer than I ever have, he has changed his life around, and he's been open about it. He had an alcohol problem. He stopped drinking. He works out religiously. He eats, his diet is incredible. You can tell. Kiffin got big. He got fat.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of weight. And people say he's turned his life around. His family's all together again. His wife's back in Oxford. So things seem to be his personal life. He seems to have gotten a grip on it. Is Saban he's still a jerk. Do you not say, man, this guy's turned his life around? I'm impressed with what he's been able to do.
Yep. I knew I'd get this. John Dent says, good stretch, but that had nothing to do with the point. the point is that he is there and he does have something to do with it. All this other stuff, doesn't matter. Oh, by the way, see, that's the thing. That's what somebody, as a matter of fact, John Dad, it's a good point because somebody just texted it to me. They said, did Pat Dye win 7 national championships? He won a couple retroactively,
True.
after his
good
passing.
point. Yep.
But
Barry,
that's the difference right there.
If there's this belief out there that Nick Saban is running the show, well, should you be critical of him for OK and Kalen DeBoer? I mean, if that's the case, then it falls at the feet of Saban. Who's this coach you pushed? What's the deal?
Can't have it both ways.
No.
Well, we'll just take a.
And there again, we're not sending DeBoer out to walk the plank. But, Barry, you know as well as I do, Monday after the Iron Bowl, if they get beat, they can't wait to get rid of him.
Come on, guys. Come on. You know it's true. Yeah, I mean, you down there on that chat, yeah, it's true.
And as C.J. Duncan said, look, we got 10 days for the game.
10 days.
But say Alabama goes in there and Auburn beats them by a couple of scores. How's that going to go over? Capital One Bowl, here we come with about half of our roster. And maybe not even the coach.
Way Offside, one final thing before we go to break. Way Offside says, yeah, he may have signed off, but I don't think he was pounding on Bird's door demanding he hire Debo. What?
Okay.
What the heck does that mean? Well, please. No, Saban ain't doing that to anybody anyway.
Yeah. I don't see him pounding on the door saying, Greg, what are you doing? You can't hire Lane Kiffin. I don't see that.
No. Let's take a break. Coming up in just a little bit, it's Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician. Yeah. Cue the chat from Plainsman Preston. He'll join us at the bottom of the hour. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs.
Get your coolers ready, because we have big news. Superior is now alcohol-free. Michelob Ultra Zero. Zero alcohol, ultra smooth taste, just 29 calories. Hear that? That's the sound of a game changer. Stay in the game with Michelob Ultra Zero. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Zero. Alcohol-free malt beverage, St. Louis, Missouri. 29 calories, 6.5 grams carbohydrates. Less than 1 gram protein and 0 grams fat per 12 fluid ounces.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. You know, many well-known restaurants in the River Region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272. 23 minutes past the hour on this Wednesday. Before we get to the Phantoms Daily Dog, I know you out there waiting on it. We're going to get to it. And something we should have brought up, Tobias, smart guy, he picked up on it. Look, I don't follow recruiting like a lot of people do. I mean, hey, 5-star here, 5-star there, ranked 3 in the country. But from what I hear, this staff has done a really good job when it comes to bringing talent in. So these DeBoer's got that going for him. But when you get all that talent, you got to be able to do something with it.
What does that mean, though, Tobias? And I love me some Tobias. I'd be concerned if DeBoer couldn't recruit. This is what I'm wondering. His guys look better than most of the Saban players.
Now, that I don't agree with.
So what? What do you mean look better? What does that
I
got
don't
to do
see
with
a
anything?
Josh Jacobs. I don't see a Najee Harris. I don't see.
Is there a Jonah Williams? Is there a
Quinnen Williams?
Yeah. Is there a Brian Branch? Is there a Josh Jobe? Is there a Minka Fitzpatrick? Is there a
Rowe at linebacker? My man Rowe?
Yeah. I look better. I don't care if a kid's 5'10", 205. If he averages 10 tackles a game, I want him more than that 6'2", 235-pound linebacker that can run like a deer.
Yeah.
Look better.
To me, it's interesting Tobias brings that up, and it's unfair, I guess, to some extent for the incredible recruiting that Saban did and the depth that he was able to build. I think that's a big difference.
No question.
You just don't have the depth that you used to. But I've noticed it this year. I mean, I don't see the type of player out there that when Saban was there, we just reeled off a bunch of names. I don't see a Najee Harris or a Josh Jacobs on the field. Obviously, there's not a Tua or a Jalen or a Bryce out there either. But I don't see, a Dante Hightower, Rolando McClain,
Courtney Upshaw. We have to spend the whole. Believe me, we've seen guys that look good that also are players, Will Anderson. Remember that time when you and I were broadcasting from Atlanta and we had Will Anderson on sitting right across from us? You look at that dude. In street clothes. He had on, coat and tie, you look at that guy walking up and you're thinking, by gosh, genetics is a thing, man. Because
no doubt.
Is there a Will Anderson? Am I missing? There might be. There might be somebody, Quay Rousseau, Yonze Pierre, that kind of look like Will Anderson, but there ain't many. And the difference is that guy.
Reel off all those wide receivers from Amari Cooper to Jerry Jeudy. You go on and on and on.
Oh, yeah.
Devontae Smith. Is Jeremy Bernard in that category?
Is Ryan Williams?
No, Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams got to step his game up. I don't want to say flop, but he is not living up to his hype. Before I think his last year had a better year than he's having this year. We'll say that, and I'd say Ryan Williams has a little extra motivation coming into the Iron Bowl. Bear. You're hearing a lot about Cam Coleman. Does Ryan Williams want that guy to be like the wide receiver in the state of Alabama?
Well,
I don't know.
He ain't the wide receiver at the University of Alabama.
No.
Right, not with a capital THE. All right, now it's time once again for our little
I guess we have to do
segment, our little feature that
I don't know what it is.
The Phantom's Daily Dog.
The MAC has really bit me in the butt the last couple of weeks. I don't know what it is. I just can't zero in on the MAC like I'm able to do with some other leagues.
He has not been a MAC daddy.
No, I have not. I should have gone to the NBA earlier, I guess. But anyway, last night we had Western Michigan at Northern Illinois. Not sure what network carried that game. I did see a little bit of it, and I went, way too many points too early in this game. We had the under 38 and a half in this game. Western Michigan almost got that on their own.
Yeah, they did. Final score, Western Michigan 35 and Northern Illinois 19.
So tonight, I think these two teams are in the MAC too, I believe.
Is he going to have a return of the MAC?
We're going MAC again. Mac the knife. Mac the knife's about to cut me.
All right.
Kent State, Nick Saban's alma mater.
I was in Kent, Ohio 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
For basketball.
I thought you were.
Yeah.
They are hosting Central Michigan. The Wahoos or something like that.
The Chippewas.
I was close.
Not even remotely close. He had one syllable right and an S at the end.
Yeah.
All right,
close.
Central Michigan and Kent State tonight, 6 o'clock, ESPNU. Central Michigan should be a little bit more than a touchdown favorite on the road.
You are right,
at
my
Kent
friend.
State.
They are a 9-point favorite, so we're taking that home dog. We're taking Kent State plus the 9 at home, hosting Central Michigan tonight in the little Wednesday night maction. That's your Phantoms Daily Dog. Take Kent State at home, catching 9 against the Chippewas of Central Michigan.
There you go. That is the Phantoms Daily Dog. For those of you who have been patiently waiting, your patience is about to be rewarded. Our Moneyline magician, Josh Harris, joins us on the other side of the break. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
This is the greatest opportunity for exquisite jewelry from Marguerite's. Marguerite's is filled to the gills with new trendy styles for the holiday season. But to entice sales prior to Black Friday, Marguerite's blowout is on. Every single item at Marguerite's has a crazy, wacko, insane price. Best of all, you can lay away for Christmas at the cuckoo prices. Plus doorbusters, watch batteries $8, rhodium dipping $19, 60% off all diamonds. Marguerite's blowout is on now. Every item at Marguerite's is insanely priced. Marguerite's, Vaughan Road.
Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air is excited to participate in our annual Catch Me in Pink campaign, raising money for cutting-edge breast cancer research. We partnered locally with the Joy to Life Foundation and Vera Bradley to help raise significant funds in support of the cause. Each week, we are giving away prizes locally in addition to our national grand prize, a tropical trip for 2. To enter, simply snap an Ussie of you and a pink-clad Dixie employee and enter it on our website. Dixie will donate money for every photo that's submitted, and you will be entered to win big.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About 29 minutes to the top of the hour. Our man, Josh Harris, the money line magician, joining us here today after a tough afternoon and early evening at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
I should, Josh, be wearing my green eye shade and everything because I've been sitting here with my manual adding machine. 23 first downs to 12.
Ooh.
406 yards of total offense to 212. You're running 24 more plays than your opponent is.
Yeah.
How in the world did Alabama lose that game to Oklahoma, Josh Harris? I put it to you.
We all know. We all know what happened. We just fumbled the ball in their territory at 3 different times. I mean, it's pretty obvious what happened, and it's a tough loss. But the good news is we did dominate the game, other than turnovers. We're not a turnover. That's not a trend. We don't generally turn the ball over. That's not something that's been happening all year. We got a little bit of a semblance of a run game with our second longest run of the year of 28 yards.
Woo-woo. 28 is the second longest?
Second longest.
Yeah.
Woo-woo.
First. And, we didn't play bad. We just turned the ball over, which is not like this team. You sound like a big homer saying it was a fluke, but to some extent it was. They were punching at the ball, and they did.
Wait a minute, Josh. Wait. You only use that word when you play in one particular place and lose a game.
Yeah.
You don't
And
use that
that's where
word when you lose at home.
Yes.
It's a fluke when you lose over at Jordan-Hare because some fluky play or, some fluky thing happened that's out of the ordinary.
Yeah, no, I get it. We didn't hang on to the ball.
Yeah.
We didn't hang on to the ball, and we gave them the game. We
Special
played
team blunders.
Special teams blunders, and golly, get that kick. Talty, what a clown. Come on. I mean, has he come out and apologized for the way that he pitched a temper tantrum? I mean, kick this 38 yards.
Really?
The ball was down. I know the timing's off, and God knows all the stuff that goes through a kicker's head. But I've seen plenty of kickers make field goals like that. You've hooked it other times throughout the year, and you're going to yell at the long snapper? Does he yell at you when you miss your field goals? Like, come on, brother. Like, that's a bad look. That's tough.
Yeah, I hear
That's
you.
the only thing that really got me up in arms, as you can tell, about that game.
Barry, the last time I saw a kicker do something stupid like that, it was a punter at Auburn, and Tuberville jumped on him.
Oh, Damon Duval, when he was griping at midfield down at LSU. You seem a lot more dispassionate and calm than I honestly thought you were going to be about this. The fans are thinking, Josh says, oh, well, I know we lost, but it's not a trend. It's just an aberration and all that. There's a lot of people out there who think the sky is falling and are running around, bumping into trees and running out into traffic right now, Josh.
Didn't they learn their lesson the first time? This has happened. It happened against Florida State. We bounced back. We had a great run. We're still having a good run. DeBoer has shown this year that he can overcome adversity and get the team back to where they need to be. This is a blip on the radar. If we go into Jordan-Hare, no one will remember this. Now, nighttime in Jordan-Hare, I mean, this is the most classic game ever, right? Auburn doesn't have a head coach. They've almost won every game. They've got a new quarterback. Their defense is good. Everything's lined up to where this is they can ruin our year. If they lose, it doesn't matter. If they win, it's incredible. Like this is it.
Yeah, how much toilet paper you think are going to be on those trees next Saturday night if they beat Alabama?
A lot of toilet paper. A lot of toilet paper. It's all those people that were hoarding their toilet paper from COVID. They've been saving it for this game.
It's 5-year-old toilet paper, believe me.
5-year-old toilet paper coming out.
Barry, we should have had Josh on Monday. The Bama fans would have felt a lot better about themselves.
I mean, but tell me I'm wrong. We don't generally turn the ball over.
But Josh, you also generally don't run the football either. I mean, that's a problem, right?
It is a problem, but it's a problem we've had. It's not freak out time. We fumbled the ball. They couldn't score on us if we didn't fumble the ball. I get it. We lost. It sucks. This is a playoff era. This isn't the BCS era. We've got one loss. We beat Auburn, who were favored by 7.5 points against. It's a trap game of doom. I get it. I'm nervous as anybody, but I'm not. The sky is not falling. We lost a game. This is the world we live in, the parody of college football, and it is what it is. We got to win at Auburn.
Wow.
It stinks.
Pretty simple. Would you talked about the running game? If you were Kalen DeBoer, would you play Jam Miller again?
Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like he provides much value to the team at this point, whether he's hurt or, he's missing blocks or he's not really running the ball too well. I mean, concussions are tough, man. I mean, you get blown in the head and, it's hard to come back to that when you're running the ball straight up the middle again, right? That might not be for everybody. And we've got other talent potentially that could run the ball. And we just need to continue to get creative with it, right? It's not going to be that we're not the Alabama team that can just run it up the gut every single play. We're going to need to run some outside sweeps with the receivers. We're going to need to mix it up where Ty Simpson stands on the out as a receiver and all he does is put up touchdown, right? That's we got to get creative with the run game. I think we're starting to do it. I did see positives. I think it's maybe I'm the only person that's come on this show that saw any positive out of that game, but we really it's the most dominant loss I think I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was wild.
Now, it's well put. It's well presented, and we respect you as always. Will we get this same in-depth breakdown this time next week following Alabama's doubtless win over Eastern Illinois? John wants to know, the only thing John wants to know about Eastern Illinois is why in the bleep are they on the schedule?
Yeah. Come on.
Because why not? I mean, we need a break.
Why not?
Because why not? What do you, why are you going to put anybody else on the schedule? We dropped to 10 after beating 4 top 20 teams. You know, I think it's crazy. Why would you schedule?
Well, it's just
else?
These games as a whole. I don't like. I mean, you know, there's a lot of teams in the league that are playing. I mean, A&M's playing Sanford. I mean, to me, it's just a waste. And I mean, and not that, you know, I know a lot of people get to take their grandkids to the game and all that kind of stuff, and that's great and that's wonderful. But in the spirit of competition, nobody wants to see these games. I mean, I won't even turn it on Saturday. I'm not going to let them shamelessly waste my time.
I don't doubt it. I don't disagree. But like, what are you going to do? I mean, like, you know, there's no, we already scheduled one good game at the beginning of the year, kind of. I mean, they beat us, but
yeah.
Why schedule more? We just played one of the hardest schedules in the entire country.
Well, and there again, unless everybody, I mean, look, I know everybody else is doing it. You'd be stupid not to do it too. I get that. I just the whole process of, you know, years ago they came up with this. Well, you know, we need to put 2 or 3 patsies on the schedule every year. I'm thinking, who came up with that idea? But it is what it is. So you got to endure it a couple of times during the year.
Yeah, make the schedule shorter, get rid of them, or make everybody play. I don't know how you do it, but you got teams like Notre Dame and Ohio State and Indiana that are playing cupcakes every week, while meanwhile we're playing, and everybody in the SEC is playing a tough game every single week, whether it's Auburn, Texas, Georgia, whoever it is. Everyone's got a tough game. So it's kind of in South Carolina. Right. I mean, that game was insane, right? They've won 3 games this year. They're still good. You need a break at some point if everybody else does, because if you lose a 3rd game in the regular season, you're out. You don't make the playoffs, where you've got these ACC teams that are playing cupcakes every single week, Big Ten teams playing cupcakes every single week. You know, you got to have the break.
Now, you can take this opinion any way you want to take it. You can set your own parameters on this. As a coach, as a human being, as a viable coaching candidate, Josh, do you like Lane Kiffin?
Not as a coach for Alabama. I do like Lane Kiffin, though. I think he's entertaining. I think he's fun. I like him at somewhere else. I can't have him.
Do you think that LSU, Florida, all the ones you've heard, staying at Ole Miss, if you were to establish a betting line between those 3 spots, where would you advise him?
Stay where you are, man.
I am totally with that.
You got it. You got everybody there loves you. You can do whatever you want. You can act a fool. You can be silly Lane. You can be yourself. Why go somewhere else and tempt it? I mean, you look at all these other jobs that people are taking, like, just, you got it good. Stay where you are, man. Like, no one ever talks about firing you from Ole Miss. You're the king of Oxford. You can do whatever you want. Don't go anywhere.
Earlier today, Josh, we had a little hypothetical segment, and I threw out there.
Just play along. Just play along.
You know, what if Kalen DeBoer says, you know, this SEC is just not for me. I'm a West Coast guy. I want to head back out west, you know, UCLA, Southern Cal if Lincoln Riley moves on, whatever. If that happened, where would Greg Byrne go? Who would he get to fill those shoes?
You got to play along. You gotta You got to jump in the pool with us here, Josh.
We can consider Lane, I guess. That would be fine. You know, I don't know.
This is Josh dipping a
hadn't
toe
thought
in the pool. This is him making sure that his water wings are on tight before he jumps in the pool on this one. You know.
So I'll help you out here a little bit, Josh.
All right.
I know Kiffin left Alabama on a bad note. Ticked off Saban, got rid of him, said, "Moog, you're out." Auburn, you know, we even mentioned it with Auburn because I think that left a bad taste in Kiffin's mouth when Auburn didn't give him the time of day 3 years ago, whenever it was. But I think we've all seen a transformation in Lane Kiffin. You know, he's been very open about some demons that he had to deal with. He's gotten that out of his life. He's gotten his life in order. He's, you know, very healthy, works out all the time. You know, this, that, and the other. His family's all back together. To me, on an outsider looking at him, to me, it looks like he's got things in order. You know, he still gets on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. But from a personal side, he seems to be happy in his own skin now.
Yeah, from an old school Bama type coach, right? That you know, a upstanding citizen, you know, just play straight down the middle, and that's how we're going to win games. Maybe that's just not what works anymore, right? Maybe you need that player's coach that's, you know, that's all about NIL and talking, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think that's maybe what you need at this point, but as far as so I think I'd be okay giving him a chance, but he's just, it would be such a 180 from anything that's ever worked at Alabama that's been successful. So it's tough to come in and say Lane would be our guy, but maybe it wouldn't be the worst hire ever, but it wouldn't be the first choice that I got.
Who, for our intents and purposes, and John and I have been on the air together for a generation, it was always better conversation, better vibes, better repartee back and forth when Auburn was good and Alabama was good. How do you feel about Auburn suddenly looking like they're going to be a challenge in a week and a half after, you know, for 2 years, it was always this amusing little hurdle, even though the games didn't always play out that way? Is it better for you? I mean, is there more interest in it?
Absolutely.
When Auburn's good,
always interest in the Iron Bowl. Doesn't matter how good or bad the team is. For a couple years, it got a little dicey there where we were running away with them. And obviously, way back in the day, there was the fear the thumb type crap. Still gives me nightmares. Yeah. But it does feel good to have a tight game for the Iron Bowl and to be a little bit nervous about it. I hate being nervous about it, but it's just part of it. That's college football. The stress of the games are back. Everything's a close game. Not wanting to go to Jordan-Hare because I'm terrified. It sucks, but it's awesome. Like it's back. The rivalry's back.
So I take it that game, Alabama was up 42-0 at halftime. You went, this isn't what I want. This ain't what I like.
I loved it. That's great too. But you know, going in that doesn't happen that often. You can't expect that to be forever, right? But now
that game was like when you have the kiss cam at a stadium and the guy proposes to the girl and she turns him down. Everybody in the stadium is going, ooh.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing at halftime of the 42.
You know, the interesting thing about that game, how did Alabama only score 7 points in the second half?
Because they played their fourth team, basically. Unbelievable.
I mean, listen, we gotta stay positive, and you can't just lose it. And I think that's what people got to understand right now is that I'm not going to crash out.
Okay.
All right, one more. This is the Moneyline Magician aspect of it all. Somebody wanted me to ask you this. Big Georgia fan. This is the worst game in college Division I FBS. Georgia is 9-1. They're hosting 1-9 Charlotte between the hedges Saturday morning. The line is 43.5. Do you ever mess with anything like that? I mean, is that just...
That's too much. I did take Indiana. I did take Wisconsin money line though before the game earlier this year, this week. That was 30 points, just a little sprinkle, and they were almost tied at halftime. But no, I mean, I wouldn't mess with that. I mean, unless you want to watch the game. If I'm going to watch the game, I'll bet on it one way or another.
Ooh.
Other than that, why even turn on the game?
Yeah.
I have no idea what's
going to
happen.
The only good thing about that game, Barry, is you'll see Georgia soften up Charlotte for Tulane the next week because that's who the Green Wave.
Yeah.
And that was another conversation we had today, Josh. If Tulane wins out, makes the playoff, is Auburn going to wait around for John Summerall?
Say that again?
If Tulane wins out and makes the college football playoff, they were number 12 in the bracket. They got the 12th position. Does Auburn wait on John Summerall?
It's tough. I don't think so. I think you got to hire somebody. There's too many other good options out there, right? I think you got to go get your guy right now. There's tons of job openings. You can't wait around. You got to make a decision at this point. Somebody, people are going to go get their guy. So you got to make your offers now.
Yeah.
Always good stuff. Josh Harris, our Moneyline magician, joining us on Wednesday. Love to have it with you. Appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir. See you next week. Josh will have another week to stew on the Iron Bowl. Then next Wednesday, I think we'll get his real, true feelings about the game.
I did. When Alabama was running through those ranked teams in a row, I didn't think anybody would be nervous about the Iron Bowl.
I think it's just it doesn't matter what the records are. I don't know how Auburn fans feel about coming to Tuscaloosa, but Bama fans, they don't like going to Auburn. Don't like it.
What's wrong with going to Auburn?
They've seen too many crazy things
happen. Wonderful campus. It's right on the interstate.
They never sit down. They're shaking those orange and blue shakers the entire game. It's too much energy and too much fan support and too much, fan interaction. There's not enough people with their back to the game talking to their buddy about their stock portfolio.
Looking up every once in a while. Oh, I see we're up 28 now. Now, again, about amalgamated steel, Fred.
I just don't like that. There again, I've never heard an Auburn guy goes, man, I hate going to Tuscaloosa. It sucks. I hate the atmosphere, blah, 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 blah. I do hear that from Alabama fans about going over to Auburn, and I get it. I mean, Gravedigger, what was the other one? The Gravedigger play. What was the other comeback win?
Gravedigger play. We got to
fourth.
do that.
It was 4th and 31, and then what was What was before what was before that game? How did that other game meet? Oh, the double overtime.
The like the quadruple overtime.
Overtime.
Yeah, with John Mechie. Okay, yeah.
I mean, it goes back to 2009 when McElroy had to hit Roy Upchurch late in the game to win it.
To get an absolute pick play from the other wide receiver to even get him open. Got to take a break. Coming up,
Julio.
Yeah, Julio. Downfield blocking. Spare me. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
The drive into fall event is bigger and better at Stivers. Over 150 new Rams in stock, up to 21 grand off or 0% for 6 years. At heavy duty Rams, 13 grand off.
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
The drive into fall event is bigger and better at Stivers. Gladiators, 11 grand off. Wranglers, 12 grand off. Even 3-row Grand Cherokees, 13 grand off or 0% for 5 years.
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
All right. Got to hit it here. It is Pastime for Gurn Jr.'s
yeah.
Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel, brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22, I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner, too. Looks like we got 6 of them. Have no idea where they are. Heating up. This is the state of United States men's soccer, the USMN team, men's national team. They get geeked up for a win over Uruguay. Uruguay is about the size of Baldwin County. And Orlando City, that's in the MLS. Alex Freeman says it's historic, Now, does this put the MNT into the World Cup qualifiers? They beat Uruguay. Yeah. If you put John in front of a huge map and said, John, find Uruguay, you'd be waiting a long time. Yeah.
Not real sure where that is.
Big win and all that. But, the World Cup is looming. I read where, what was the name of the country? Curacao or somebody. They got like 180,000 people in their whole country. They qualified for the World Cup, smallest country ever, beating out Iceland. Yeah. So there you
imagine soccer's big in Iceland. I wouldn't think so.
It ain't big here.
Wow, man. All right, 5 more to go. Let's see what we got here. Spinning away, Victoryland, exit 22 off 85, Shorter, Alabama, open 24/7, 365.
Thank you, Nate.
Thank you, Nate.
All right, Nate.
What did Nate do?
Oh, Nate Bargatze. I thought it was going to be thank you, Nate, for actually beefing up Alabama basketball's non-conference schedule and actually playing Illinois tonight at 8 o'clock. Nate Bargatze, he's from Nashville or from right outside there. 100-acre amusement park for Nate Bargatze in Nashville. Love Nashville. It's a growing town. Gurn Jr.'s partial to it himself. Ain't no question Gurn Jr.'s going to the Nate Bargatze amusement park.
Who is Nate Bargatze?
Oh my gosh. Funniest guy in America. He is hilarious. He was the guest picker for Vanderbilt because he's from the Nashville area that aced out Dansby Swanson. If you never have seen, check out the Nate Bargatze skits that they do on Saturday Night Live with George Washington crossing the Delaware. Great stuff. Great.
Okay. Yeah. Check that guy out.
Oh, yeah. Very funny.
Okay. 4 to go.
4 to go.
What we got? Blue, yellow, red, green.
Stale Pringles. Oh, I hate those.
I don't like stale.
I hate those.
But it does take a long time for them to get stale. I will say that.
This is former Alabama player. What's his first name? Alex Pringle. They called a double tech. Plays for Arkansas. He was also at South Carolina.
Yeah.
For some reason, he gets tangled up with a guy from Winthrop. Yeah. I don't know what he was doing there. He was trying to run right through the guy. And they called, watch. The guy gets the rebound. This is late in the game. And Pringle's just, boom.
Just
what
standing
are you doing,
there,
man.
Yeah, really.
What
that was interesting.
There was no reason for that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arkansas ends up winning it, by the way.
Oh, yeah. You can't let Winthrop come into your home court and beat you.
Again, another one. Put a map in front of us. Where's Winthrop? Yeah. Let's go back to it.
Reminds me of Trading Places. Winthrop. Okay. 3 to go. Let's see what we got here on this Wednesday.
Was it Reggie Hammond in Trading Places? Or was it?
No, it was 48 Hours.
Oh, Reggie Valentine. Then.
Reggie Valentine. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, William.
All right. Bama boys.
Billy Ray Valentine.
Billy Ray Valentine. Yeah. Reggie Hammond.
Okay.
Look at this.
Oh, okay.
The U.S. men's team, Jaden Shackelford. Remember him?
I do.
Yep. The U.S. men's qualifying team at the FIBA Men's World Cup, looking to secure a spot. Jaden Shackelford and Garrison Brooks.
Okay. Garrison.
Yeah, Brooks is not from the University of Alabama. He's because I remember him when he was at Auburn High School. 1 year at Mississippi State and 4 years at North Carolina. Good player. Brooks plays in Birmingham as well. So those guys, it's not with the the number one NBA guys.
Yep.
Because it's in the middle of their season. But that's a good get, especially for
Yeah.
Shackelford. I'd forgotten about that.
Good for him. That is nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Couple more.
We got the Kansas Jayhawk color scheme once again, blue and red.
How does it work that way?
And it's going to land on the blue panel, I believe, which is the new way.
The new way.
The new way.
John, radio is, this is the new. All right. He putts with one hand.
Huh.
And he just won a PGA Tour event. Who is this guy? One-handed putts?
To each his own. It's like the claw grip and the big belly putters and these three-ball putters. When I see a guy walk up with one of those, I'm thinking, this guy's a head case.
Zip this thing up a little bit. Give me the name on this guy here. Latest winner, 33-year-old Adam Schenk, PGA Tour win. First time in 243. Been putting one-handed.
One-handed. I believe.
How do you even do that?
I didn't see this young man, but I did see some of the Bermuda Championship that's being played over in Bermuda.
Right.
I just didn't see that guy, but I did see a little of it on Golf Channel the other day and watched it.
Yeah. So he's won 1 out of 243. So everybody go putt one. Which hand would you use if you were going to putt one-handed, John? Which hand? Your lead hand or your right hand? Your upper hand or your lower?
Well, I guess my right, because I'm right-handed. But, I've always said, I think I've said it on the show before, I'm a traditional putter, use a traditional putter. But the one big tip I think is the most important, you squeeze the grip of a putter like you're squeezing a tube of toothpaste. You don't put a lot of pressure on it. It's all feel. And like I said, these guys with all this other stuff that they do, you do you, knock yourself out.
If you got the yips, try something. One more.
All right, one more to go. Let's see what we got. Got to spin it to make it official. It's the blue panel, ladies and gentlemen, for those that are listening and not watching.
Record.
And it's going to be another record. Okay. What do we got?
Look at this.
Oh, hockey.
Ovechkin.
Hockey.
Yeah. Alex Ovechkin, again, he plays for the Capitals. He beat the record Wayne Gretzky set in terms of number of goals. He scored a goal at Capital One Arena, which is where they play. That's his 442nd goal in the Washington Arena. That's an all-time record. 442 goals.
And you know what's impressive, Barry? Not only about that record, but if you didn't know where you were going and you were walking around downtown D.C., you would not know you were next to the Capitol Arena. It is amazing how they blended it in. They just blended it in. You go, wait, but that's the arena? And then I guess it is. Yeah. And, of course, it's awesome. It's an awesome venue, but you just don't really see it like you see other venues in cities. And, a lot of that about D.C. because they have building restrictions and stuff.
It's totally different from Beard Eve's Coliseum back in the old days, which looked like a big hat box.
Yeah.
And you could see it from like halfway down Wire Road almost all the way to the Torch 85. You're like, what the heck is that? And then you look at it, and the closer you get, the less impressive it is. Kind of like that girl at the end of the bar,
That's right. That's right. All right, listen, tomorrow, we mentioned it earlier, but just to make sure you know what's going on, don't want anybody freaking out. Tomorrow, a little schedule change on the program. Of course, our man, Jason Caldwell, will be on at his normal time, bottom of hour number 1, Auburn Undercover. Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, will join us at the top of hour number 2. I know you're freaking out. Whoa. What about the Tighter Insider? Don't sweat. Bottom of hour number 2, Rodney will join us. He was nice enough to make way for Connor at the top of hour number 2. So don't forget.
Yep.
That will be the lineup tomorrow.
Many
Still
thanks.
Brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market.
Always will be. CJ Duncan, appreciate him. Josh Harris, appreciate him as well. Our producer, Gurn Jr. For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.